Here.
And you are live.
Okay. I'm going to call the meeting to order for the Affordable Housing and Community Equity Development Commission. On the roll call, we only have two of us here, Terry Bond and myself. And as a result, we don't have a quorum. So we are simply going to have a discussion of the rental rehab program that the city of Annapolis has funded. And we're going to be looking at, again, one last aspect of the policies and procedure review, just to discuss what we should do with that. But we will not be voting on anything this evening because we don't have a quorum. So, rental rehab program. In rereading everything that for the rental rehab program, both Patrick and I came to the conclusion that the loan policies and procedures were contradictory. At one point we were talking about a 5-year loan, another point we're talking about a 10-year loan, and a 5-year loan, and then we could forgive 50% of it at 10 years. So we need to straighten all that out, essentially, and figure out exactly what is this loan and how long should it be.
You want Julian to put it up,
Oh, he could, yeah.
to help?
Actually, it's 2, I think. Yeah, that's part of it, exactly.
Okay.
So I think what Patrick and I were talking about via email was it probably should be a 10-year loan, not a 5-year loan, and it should be a 10-year deferred loan. So essentially,
I'll put deferred back.
everything would come due at 10 years, and we may be able to forgive 50% of it at that 10-year point. But it's a deferred loan, so no payments, no interest. I think under the procedures that the city may put in place, which don't necessarily have to be reflected here, would be an interest rate. I don't think we have to include that at this point. That could be a discussion for later. We could also say it's essentially a deferred loan, which is really a grant, and have no interest at all on it. So that's also a possibility, I suppose.
How would you do that with interest? Because basically, with our rehab program, it's a deferred loan, so there's no payments. There's no interest.
I think that's what we should do here, actually.
Okay, because I don't know how you'd apply the interest if it was deferred.
I don't either.
Okay.
I don't either.
So let's say no payment, no interest. And
Yeah.
then
Can we do it like the rehab loan, Teresa? And maybe, if they drop out sooner, you.
yeah, we
apply-
said, we do say that.
We do say that.
We say the loan is fully payable if the owner sells the property before the end of the 10th.
End of the 10th year. Right.
So my thought is, it would be, if they came out before the 10th year, halfway through, would we charge them, would we charge them the full amount, or would we reduce it by a percentage? I don't think, now that I think, never mind, forget that thought, because if we do that, they'll decide, well, after 2 years, they'll come and pay the money back.
Right.
The purpose is to keep it affordable. Okay, sorry about that, ladies. Just a thought.
And I would say, so essentially what we would say is in the first sentence, it would be property owners of selected residential properties may be eligible to receive a 10-year deferred loan from the city.
Mhm.
That's how it would be written.
Right,
Not
we
to-
had
in an
deferred
amount.
anyway, but we took it out, so I'm putting it back in.
Okay. Okay.
Just edit the document, or do we have to, does Teresa have to write it down? Is there any way to edit the document as we're talking?
No, I can't do that because
No.
it's not in, I'm not in Amazon's workspaces, so I can't do that.
Okay, sorry.
I have to be in Amazon workspaces to do that. I've got a written copy here that I'm I'm marking.
you're
it.
working from, okay, all right. And then the rest of it's fine the way it is.
What about
In that
reimbursement?
paragraph,
Well,
the first
no,
paragraph, and then in A.
wait a minute. Who's talking? Nancy? Can you
mhm,
stop for 1 second?
Sure.
Okay. It says not eligible for reimbursement. Are we gonna require them to pay for it and get reimbursed by us? Or are we gonna give, what about the owners that may not have the money? Is that somewhere else in this? See where it says are not eligible for reimbursement?
It says,
Just means,
costs incurred for labor provided by the owner or any entity owned or controlled by the owner. So
Well,
like,
Well, I think
Would
what
be
she means is,
reimbursement or
they
would it be
can't bill the
paid?
city for those kinds of costs, that's what it
but they're,
means.
but in other words, they're not covered under this program. Maybe we could.
Just
Because,
leave it, could we leave it at not eligible?
yeah, I think that's good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think we should just leave it the way it is.
but reimbursement does connote that they're gonna pay and then be reimbursed for it, and
All
that's
our programs are like that.
our what?
CDBG is like that, where they make the payment and then we reimburse them.
So that's how this is gonna be too.
Yep.
Okay,
What if the owners don't have the money? I'm sorry, I'm stepping
I-
outside the box.
I can't imagine that they're not collecting rent, that they don't have some of the money,
Okay,
but, this just says the cost incurred for labor provided by the owner or any entity owned and controlled by the owner are not eligible for reimbursement. We haven't gotten to the part where it talks about reimbursement yet.
Yeah,
Right,
but I
that's
guess-
the,
I understand what Denise is saying is that if you, I know CDBG is a loan and
and we reimburse.
reimbursed.
Let's
but
see what it generally says. Wait, it says. when
I
the
would
city
just leave it
receives-
at
when
not
we go to-
eligible.
Can I finish? When we, under general requirements, it says, when the city receives and approves a completed application, the city will send a commitment letter to the owner. The city shall only reimburse owners after all the works is satisfactorily completed and paid invoices have verified all costs and canceled checks. The city will consider advances if there is a signed contract. So that takes care of it.
right, that's under the general requirements.
Yeah, so that's.
Denise.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, all of that whole issue is addressed under general requirements.
Right.
Okay, okay.
So it does say the city could front.
Yes,
fund Something if the city.
Yes.
felt it was- Okay,
Right. If
Yeah,
they
that's-
can show
Yes,
the
it does.
hardship,
Yeah.
If they can show hardship, yeah.
okay, there you
Yeah.
go.
then I would say under A. I would say, instead of for 5 years,
Could be 10,
it's for the term of the loan.
right?
Right.
Because it's really 10 years, they have to keep it stable. And we originally had affordable, is that right? But we decided we don't have a definition of affordable. And so we put stable. Is
Mhm.
that what happened? Am I right? Am I remembering that correctly? Teresa?
You're asking me, who can't remember what I did yesterday?
I think we're all in that boat, Teresa.
Did
I
I?
can't remember what I did 10 minutes ago.
No,
Oh, I
I-
remember now.
I can't remember. I'd have to go
Wasn't it-
back and watch it. I would have to go
Wouldn't you-
back and watch the
Yeah,
discussion.
and then if you put, well, whatever word you put in there, you're gonna have to be able to define what that means.
Yeah, well, stable to me means kept reasonably the same, except we list under the general requirements again, how rents get or under D, we talk about how rents get increased. So,
So it makes
Um,
sense, it says stable because it, in the legislation, it kind of explains what that means. So essentially it's limited by how much it can be increased,
Mhm.
And we decided that we would base that by the CPI.
right?
right.
So that's fine, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
city may forgive 50% of the loan after 10 years.
Yeah,
Da, 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 da. And so since we've decided we're not going to charge interest, the last thing I had written down is not necessary. Murphy, what was that? Let's see. So I think we've straightened out the problems there. Now, Patrick had suggested instead of shall that we have in several places under D, it should be may. I actually think shall is appropriate and not may.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I think shall is the appropriate word because we want to require that rents not be
right.
increased in that first year, blah, 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 blah. So,
May just opens
Okay.
up a can of worms because
Exactly.
right,
And
right,
it opens
with a
up for
lot of decisions to be.
negotiation and,
Exactly. Well, that was easy.
yeah, yeah, because we pretty much did everything the last time.
Yeah, we did everything, but we still had this one strange anomaly, contradictions, 5-year loans, 10-year loans.
Right.
And now we've put it in writing that it's a 10-year deferred loan.
Mhm.
And so we've done it.
Right, so I will make the corrections, send it off to you tomorrow. If anybody, sees anything that's like a typo, but not
Okay.
anything substantive, because I'll go ahead and send this to the HHW.
Okay. Excellent. And
Cool.
when they take it up, who knows?
Right. Well, it's up to them, but just a couple of things for you guys. CDBG applications went out today. You might have gotten an email. Nancy, I think your name was on there.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, it went out late this afternoon, so
I haven't
They're
looked at my
doing-
emails.
they're gonna be doing December, in the first part of December. And then I was really impressed with the county's MPDU legislation. There's a few things in there that I really like, which are a lot better than ours.
Wow.
I had suggested that we take a look and that the committee take a look at our legislation and make recommendations.
Okay.
And then the other thing that we need to do again is we've never tackled is the whole issue of how the city issues pilots.
Right. We have not tackled that and we do need to.
So those would be the two things that.
Your
for-
legacy, Teresa.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I told you, Terry, but I'm out in probably April.
No.
Hiring, yeah.
Oh, well deserved, well deserved.
Yeah, I was gonna try to stay to June 30th, but so far I'm getting so aggravated.
I'm going with her.
that she's going.
Oh, no.
What happened to us, man?
So just so you know, so anyway, yes, so you gotta get to work. You get to work.
And,
So
and-
anyway,
and may I say something? I just wanted to bring the committee up to date where we are with the MPDU.
oh, yay, yes, absolutely.
So we've got eight units that have been sold. We have 7 that are coming to a closing in November. And I don't know what happened to the last applicant, whether they came through or not. And if they went through, then we have 2 left. And I have applicants for those. And if not, we'll have 3 left. And I have a stack of applicants taller than Teresa. So
Doesn't take much to be taller than me.
well,
That's great news. That's really
yeah,
good.
it was off to a slow start, and then all of a sudden we got bombarded, and then it was a lot of applicants that came from out of the county, and I mean you have to take them by the date order, so it was a lot of time and energy just trying to weed through the qualified ones. And then you have to be mindful that we have diversity within the group of applicants as well. And I think that Teresa did a fine job at everything, so that's going to be her legacy too.
Get these
Okay.
Yep, our
well-
goal is to get 19, then all 19 of them sold by November.
And one of the booths in that was that Lennar came down on the interest rates and they've been offering 5% or a little around that.
Oh, wow.
5% window to get these things off of them, because they got to pay the money they borrowed to to build this stuff. So everything that's being held up, that's more interest on their loan. So thankfully, Lennar has been really, their finance side has been really wonderful. And we've been able to also assist some of the homeowners under the legislation for the Housing Trust Fund, where Teresa, in her infinite wisdom, came up with the idea to assist them with closing costs. So we've been able to utilize some of that money as well.
Great.
Super.
Good.
Oh,
Good,
well,
good.
6 more, once Athens Annapolis gets rolling, we'll have 6 more MPDUs and that'll be it. Until we see another development, so.
Yeah, the question
More
is
than-
nowhere,
it's more than-
where is there anywhere to develop any more housing?
Yeah, there's no, but
Yeah.
we have a lot of subsidized housing and I don't think people realize that, we have 2% of the in the region, it's Howard County and Baltimore County, Baltimore City. In the region, we have 2% of the units. But we have 8% of the subsidized
In the
housing.
city. Yeah,
So we have 4 times,
And you usually have more in the city because you have more people. But it's
right,
still.
but we have more subsidized housing. We
Yeah,
have 4 times as much.
wise in the counties. What was I gonna say? Teresa and I, through the MPD unit, we looked at some of the things the problems. I think that this was a bigger one. I don't know what happened early on in the MPDU program, but we was looking at, some of the things you don't look at is when you actually review the applications, for the integrity of the applicant and some of the things ideas that we wanted to talk about, probably will bring to you guys about some of the issues that we ran into with the applicants,
Right.
income, not enough income to meet the mortgage,
Right.
and so that's one of the things, I guess we'll be bringing that to them.
Right, once we get finished with
Once we-
all of
yeah,
this, then we
yeah.
move on to the
Yeah,
do the
Okay,
CDBG,
great.
and then we'll move on to the other stuff, so.
great.
okay, all
Okay.
right.
Cool. All righty.
And so we have a meeting in November on the 29th, is that
Yes,
correct?
that's the CDBG public hearing.
Public hearing, okay, right. And then the December meeting will be on the
19.
19th, which is the night before I leave, okay, all right.
So if we have anything, on the agenda for that night,
Yeah, well,
we'll
Okay.
see.
we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, all righty.
All right, well, this was short and sweet.
Yep.
I
We
suppose.
got done what we needed to. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have taken the burden off the city to service anything too, which is, I think, in terms of the rental rehab program,
Mhm.
which I know, Teresa, you were concerned about, so,
Yep,
okay,
all
all
right,
right.
all righty. Well, good
Good
night.
to see
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody. Thank
Have
you.
a great Thanksgiving. We're not gonna see each
Yeah.
other before then.
No, we won't.
So
We
you
will
ladies
not.
have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yep, have
Thank
happy
you, same to
holiday.
you.
See you later.
All righty,
See ya.
bye.
Bye.